morning cup of coffee. Great. It's all set for morning. I'm going to go to bed.
Oh, that Dwayne always leaves a mess.
Oh, no. She unplugged the coffee pot again and didn't set the clock. My coffee's not ready. What will I do?
Dwayne, you're getting your master's degree. Can't you make something to set this clock? Surely you learned something in the last few years.
Look, slash and 12.
What? Can't you fix it? What did you learn at school?
What did you learn in college?
We use the radio to set the train.
I don't think you can do that.
There's an atomic clock in the United States that contacts people.
Thanks, Cadence. That's a great idea.
Thanks for being at lunch today, Neha. Let's go over the project and try to brainstorm some ideas.
I was thinking in Professor Hoover's class we learned about bare metal programming on the Z board. However, that won't fit into a coffee pot and it will be too expensive.
Let's talk it over with the rest of the team at the Q on Saturday.
In Professor Gupta's class, we learned about the embed and talked about utilization and utility.
Maybe we can teach you embed.
In Professor Casper's class, we learned about FPGA programming and design and hardware design. I don't think we'll be able to use that on the embed.
Do you think we could simulate this in MATLAB or Simulink like Professor Eldon taught us?
What about the antenna and the RF stage?
We can use some of the SPICE tool that Professor Buckwater taught us to simulate the LNA and the power amplifier.
Or the design of how we are going to do this?
Let's draw a picture on the whiteboard. That might help explain it.
So Rama, I drew a picture, block diagram of what I think it is we're going to make. We've got a transmitter I think we need to make. Technically, it's not something we completely need.
So is this to simulate the transmitting signal?
Because we're so far from Boulder, Colorado, and the signal is so weak here, we might need this for test and debug purposes.
So we start by simulating the signal using what we learned from Professor Patton's class.
Yeah, we'll need to create a data packet. The modulation techniques, we learned some from Papin, but we did a lot of simulation with Eldon. That'll come in very helpful there.
There I see that we do use the same simulation on the signal itself.
Yeah, remember, we used a lot of MATLAB. All the professors had us use MATLAB for everything.
And Professor Buckwater taught us about the SPICE tools. We can use that to simulate the RF stage and the LNA part and the power side.
That sounds like a great idea. We do all of this, control it all with software. That's what Hoover taught us. The key here, though, is on the receiver side. Because we don't have the FPGA hardware that the other teams have, we can't do complex math and hardware.
So performance and utilization is key to our project.
Yeah. Professor Gupta taught us how to calculate that. The TAs should come in very helpful. All of those are really good.
And finally,
Great success!
you think this will work?
We'll just have to do like Churchill said at the beginning of World War II.
I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering.
So at this point we're transmitting. We have a couple of 9-volt batteries powering the transmitter a bit more. Here we're printing out the current time that we're transmitting. Yeah, up here at the top we've got October 28 at 11:35.
Here we have our receiver, our transmitter, on the phone board. The clock is up there, and you can also see our signal on the oscilloscope up in the corner.
We put the battery in the clock. The clock begins at 12. And if we wait here for a moment, suddenly it'll switch to 3:35, and that's because it's a time zone difference.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Can you see it clearly?
Yep.
Time for
a beer.